must I turn on the video, or we should just do without the video? Because that way, I think you know,
Yes.
so the network can we can continue like this.
Yes.
Great. So yeah. So there's a particular community that I found out that people actually pay to charge their phones, their MP3 players, and whatnot. So these people actually pay up as low as 100 naira, but it's not sustainable. And the shop owner has a relationship with the gas station that supplies him a constant fuel to power the generator. So it's just a model like, okay, let's see how we could make money off this community, right? So that was what I saw. I was like, okay, let's see how we could design a product that can allow people to at least get some basic lighting and mobile charging, you know. So at that point, we started just with lighting products because having to embed a USB port, mobile charging will cost more, and because of the financial strength of the target market at that time, we decided to do the ones that would not have mobile charging. So this is how we started doing some R&D, and we came out with the first version of the product. So, but at that point, we sold a few to hospitals. We were targeting hospitals because we found out that they buy in multiple. Yeah, because a typical hospital in a rural area is designed to have multiple wards. Maybe let's say 12, 10 to 12 wards, left and right. Really have heavy machines. These hospitals rather, they don't really have heavy machines. They just want something basic to light up their way, the wards and the reception, as well as the doctor's office. So we started selling out to hospitals. Sometimes we sell about maybe minimum of 8 lanterns, sometimes 12, sometimes 16. So it was really exciting to see people put down their money and I mean for such solutions. Although it wasn't really well packaged, it wasn't really looking that nice, but people were willing and able to pay. So that's where the journey started. And not until 2020, we decided to change the design to have a USB port embedded on it. Then in 2021, we had this. I did a program with a course on circular economy. That's what actually exposed me to understand the circular economy model. So this is how we then had to leverage the electronic waste part of the circular economy to build the product.
Okay. And what pushed you to enter this field of circular economy of e-waste to make solar lanterns?
Yeah. So initially we've already started. I've already started building lanterns, but looking at the raw materials, access to raw materials is not cheap because most of these materials are being brought in from China, and we have to do the whole forex thing, trying to get dollar exchange rates going high and low. It wasn't stable at all. So the best option for us to do was to look inward. So at that point, one of our key resources, which is the lithium ion battery, was gotten locally. We were getting it from the computer market where they sell computer and laptop. Talk to computer service engineers. If they have them in bulk, we buy them off them, use them to build the lantern. But that was when the whole waste idea started coming up. So at that point, I felt like, hey, if we want to scale up, we need to work with the guys that are playing the big players in this waste collector stream. So that's how we decided to contact some former waste collectors companies, which are in Nigeria. We just have two of them, Picnic and Itera. So we had to go meet them, explain our model. Let them see possible areas of collaboration, and that's how we became partners. And they supply us with our raw materials, from batteries to wires, screws, and whatnot. So So that's the idea of trying to move into the circular economy was just a no-brainer, because if we decide to manufacture from like buying raw materials from China, it's not going to be viable at all. And at that point, it's going to be expensive.
Yes.
And because we are not doing the numbers, people might not be able to afford it, and it won't make any sense at all. So we just decided, hey, since we have abundant waste in Nigeria, I mean, we are a country of about 210 million people, and of course we generate and we buy gadgets like on the day. So we should be able to see what we can get on ground to be able to solve the problem of
that. Okay. What challenges did you face when you started Quadloop?
Yeah, typically, it's not just me. I mean, anybody trying to run a startup will face challenge of course, funding. Because especially when it comes to physical products, you have to do several prototyping, iterations, and all that. So the challenge was more like funding on the side, at the same time having to have the relevant skill sets and as well as machineries, because there are some machines that I will need that I can't just wake up and say, hey, I need to save up to buy this machine, because it doesn't end there. You should be able to know that you buying this machine, there are other things you need to get in place. You need to at least acquire the skill. You need to at least have some other raw materials before you want to say you want to get machines, because machines is for upscaling, like when you need to scale. But for prototyping and iteration phases, you will spend a lot of money, because you can buy all materials, try to work something out, and it might fail. You have to do it again and again. So at that early stages, we had the challenge of access to machines, access to some prototyping materials, like let's say like 3D printers and CNC laser cutter and all those stuff. So, but yeah, we actually were fortunate to jump into some programs here in Lagos that trained us, that trained me on industrial design and design thinking and 3D printing and all those other stuff.
Okay. So, and how a typical day of work at Quadloop looks like, especially for you, the CEO?
Yeah, so for me, it's more like I do hybrid. I don't really go to the workspace, like the warehouse where we produce every day. So sometimes because I have a mini workshop where I live, so I carry out some activities over there while I do the rest of the activities on my laptop, maybe Zoom calls as well. So yeah, the activity is mainly like that for me. But for the guys at the warehouse, typically people dismantle materials that are being brought in, So because we work closely with Hickney, which is a former e-waste collector. So they have a lot of activities on their end. They bring in these materials on the regular, and we see how we could pick the materials that are useful to us, and the ones that are not, we have to leave it for them to discard responsibly. So typically, activities are ongoing, both online, physically, and all that. So that's how it goes.
Okay. What is required to start something like Quadloop? I mean, technical. What is required technically, and what kind of human resource do someone need? He wants to start something like Quadloop.
Yeah, so it all depends on the individual, right? Because number one, I believe that if you want to start something, you should be able to have a clear vision of what you want to do. So, and having a clear vision is not like you just want to copy someone else's. So you just have to do your own thing and stick to it. So the reason I'm saying this is that because when it started early, it was more like, why are we doing lanterns? I personally asked myself the same thing. Like we should be doing something bigger. I should have just gone into solar installation, inverter installation. Although I know I have the skill sets, but I never wanted to go through that route because somehow it was already saturated, and also the fact that to build the other kinds of products, maybe like a bigger kind of system locally, is going to be relatively expensive. So I had to stick to that. So my point is, you have to always have a clear headway, clear vision to where you are going and what you want to achieve. So that's number one. Number two, having the right set of the team. It's the kind of people that would help you drive this vision, because you can't possibly do it alone. So you have to at least have, for starters, you have to have yourself and someone else that's able to see things the way you are seeing it. That's even the first thing. And before you can now bring other persons on board. But yeah, you have to have people with the relevant skills. That's very important.
Okay, so we can say that first of all, we need a clear vision and a team with sharing the same vision and relevant skills.
Exactly, and understanding the problem you're trying to solve, because I mean, understanding the problem and carving a niche for yourself, because there are some problems that cut across Africa, right? But
Yes.
How are you trying to solve this problem? So you have to be able to come with your own unique value proposition on how you want to solve it. So that's how it is.
Okay. We proceed with this question. Is there something you wish you had known or a skill you wish you had starting out in e-waste circular economy?
No, sorry, I didn't really get that question. Sorry.
Is there something you wish you had known or a skill you wish you had starting out?
Oh, okay. So one of the things I wish I had now was how would I say, maybe a skill of I would have wished to have industrial skills early enough, industrial designs very early. Although typically I know how to design products, or there's some skill set that if I had that early enough, it would have really helped me to roll out several products, even render services for other companies on that side. So, so that's one. Another one is probably having to start early enough. So if I had started maybe just after high school, wow, I think I would have had a lot of money by now. So yeah. Okay. Starting out after university would have really helped, like immediately. Or maybe even while in school.
Yeah. Then what is the best advice you would give to anyone willing to follow your path? Are there any books, articles, postcards, or training one should take info from you?
Yes, so I'm not really a book person, like reading bulky books, but I read a few at early stages. So I read this books from Brian Tracy, so because I think I need that for a while. There are some few books from Brian Tracy because they are very powerful books. So Brian Tracy is a good way to start. What else? So yeah, I like to read articles, short articles, not just any article, but articles that are pointing towards what the future holds. So I call it foreseeing trends. So yeah, so foreseeing trend is one of the things you need to have to understand how you position. Yeah.
Okay, so you advise someone to read Brian and Tracy books and articles about the future trends in circular economy or in any field of your interest?
It all depends on where the person wants to play, right? So let's say in the area of circular economy, for instance, because it's so wide, and it still requires a lot of stakeholders to come on board to see how we could harness the waste to value mainstream. So you have to be able to understand what area you want to play and focus on it in terms of your research. So research is another key thing you almost always constantly have to do. So yeah.
Okay. Is your field of operation is competitive? I mean, do you have competitors? Some startup doing the same thing like you in Nigeria?
Yeah, so typically we have guys in the circular economy space, but doing different things. We have the people doing the waste collection, that's plastic waste collection. We have the guys converting plastics into solid bricks. You know, we have the guys who converting plastic to other materials like table and accessories. So, but in the e-waste space, we have a few people still doing the second life battery application. What do I mean by that? So that's when you get discarded batteries and you reuse the cells. So it's called second life batteries, second life application. So we have a few guys doing that as well, but typically I think we're just the only one doing making a product that is literally from 70% waste, because most people just use batteries to use the second life application batteries to power their products, which is about, for us, is about 30%, because we started out with that until we had to move further using other ingredients to make up 70%. So yeah.
And since the foundation of Quadloop, how many products did you bring to sell? How many products?
Okay, so this particular lantern was done in 3 versions. The first version, second version, and this is the final. So, but in total, we've sold about 200, because the first version was about 60 something. The second version was about that one wasn't really much, because it wasn't really it wasn't really that good. So we did about.
How many years of operation do you have since the beginning to now?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, could you tell us if your business is profitable?
So in one sense, is it on the product side, or because we do service as well on the side? So, but for now, we make more money from the service side, not the product.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
And what services do you offer?
Yeah, so we do installations, we do second level applications for other companies as well.
Okay.
Installations of solar lanterns, solar inverters rather. Solar inverters, and also we have other products that we are currently working on that should be launched by first quarter 2023.
Okay. Are you open to any partnership, let's say investor or people who are interested in e-waste recycling? And are you open to internship for them or trainings?
Yeah, so for the training part, because I don't facilitate trainings, for partnerships, say in terms of raw materials, investments, yeah, but for trainings, we don't really facilitate trainings, except maybe
do you
if you want to be installation yeah, or yeah.
About trainings, are you willing to do them on site, or
Yeah, we have to do online. It has to be online, and it depends on the kind of training, right? Because but if the need be, if it's what's the I mean the time and all, yeah, we could do on site. It all depends on how the conversation goes. So,
Okay.
sorry, what country are you again?
I'm actually in Cameroon, but the academy is registered in Burkina Faso because I was there and
Burkina Faso.
yes, I came back to Cameroon, but soon I will be there.
Okay. You were saying you're currently in Cameroon, or you're registered in Burkina Faso.
Yes.
Yeah, so the academy trains people, or what's the academy about? Or is it just like a media academy, or you people bring in young person?
No, we train, and we also
train.
we also manufacture products, especially decorative items from paper. But for this, in the coming days, we are thinking about training, launching training regarding e-waste recycling. That's why I contact you and I ask you if you are open to in training opportunities. Maybe in the future we call you to and organize such kind of training online. I think yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, whatever the case is, online, physically, because the thing is that we need to let young people understand the opportunities that are surrounding the e-waste and the circular economy as a whole.
Yes.
Because one of the things about the circular economy is like is a catalyst to job creation. So if we could do it depends on the kind of training. There are some training that might not be suitable to carry on online. It has to be maybe probably in person, so people can really understand that, hey, this is how it works. So by at that point, I believe we could figure it out.
Okay. Okay, I think we can stop here. Thank you so much, Mr. Dozie. We are not going to make you more busy. You have so many things to do. Thank you so much for this those information you shared with us, your experience. I think it will inspire some of us. And as I recorded the video, I will put it online and many people will have an idea about this kind of business.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dozie. Have a nice day.
You're welcome.